Hello, everybody. Happy Halloween, almost. It's a couple days away, and we're back for some Band of Blades actual play. Band of Blades, the Immortals. I am Lucas. No, really, it's me under here. And this is Lucas G Variety, back with my friends to play the Band of Blades game. Session number 11 on October 28th, 2021. As you can see by the decorative overlay that I spent a couple minutes doing, we got pumpkins because that means we're festive, and some of us have masks on. Now that we've done that, take that thing off because it's technically a knitted ski mask and it's very warm. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, user's feeling the same way. He's feeling the same
The
way.
Also the overlay is wrong. I'm listed as Lawkeeper, not Spy Master.
No, I switched the names. Whoops.
Oh.
Oh
Ooh.
man, I did the wrong one. Well, I've been having
could you?
errors on all my overlays lately. I mean, it's just in the D&D one I did last week. I messed up on that one. Druids now ends with a C instead of a D. Anyways, we're wasting time. Let's get back into it. User is technically our spy master.
Yeah. 1 second, I have to go and just let the dog in.
That's
I'll
fine.
be back in just half a second.
Half a second. Wrong. All right. So we are back. Happy Halloween. This is session 11 called Halloween Halt. It's going to be a special episode where we break the game just a little bit. There's consequences, but there's also rewards. It will be a game changer, is all I can guarantee. So this is our special Halloween session. It's going to take place immediately following the primary mission, which is the Shattered Lions, who we just went through it last time. It's almost right after they've gotten back to camp, and then we found out that Black Standing Storm has died. But before the secondary squad gets back, because we haven't rolled the results yet. So that crew won't be there, but everybody else will be. We could break it a little bit and have the marshal put together the secondary, but I kind of want to get right rolling into it. So I think that's where we're going to go. So I'll go over to our still Lord Keeper and Commander Soundwave's Ghost and anybody else for a quick recap. And then we'll get started. Now, I think Dom might be able to put a little bit in here because he was a big part of last episode, especially with his token that he gets at the end. But you guys tell me. I'm gonna let you guys take it away for a second. Nothing like putting you on the spot. I know. Oh, are you muted, sir?
I'm muted?
No, you're not. You're good now.
Okay, I was passing it off to the lore keeper. He's probably got something.
Didn't have one last session.
Oh, neat.
Well, I'm gonna have to jump in here. Just replace it.
My last note was from the 9:30 episode.
There was a cave on the side of a hill, and there was a crazy old coot inside of that cave, with many zombies outside of that cave. I think these were just like normal kinds of zombies, but there was a leader there as well. It was the doctor with the red hand over his face, yeah? But he was inside the cave. Okay, it's coming back in pieces.
It's okay.
So we had to maneuver around that group of zombies to get inside of the cave and through the gap. Where we found the old man, we were able to talk him down and stop him from exploding the entire cave.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
And we sent our faithful scout deeper into the cave to try and find a way out that wasn't overflowing with zombies. They never returned. And after waiting for quite a while, we began to go looking for our brave scout, Black Standing Storm. And once we found her, well, it was too late. She lay in a pool of her own blood over the floor of this cavern, and 3 mysterious figures lie in wait deeper within the cave. We're able to fend off their onslaught, handily so, just true Legionnaires would. And we made a hasty retreat from the cave, assisted with some horses that Joster had commandeered or found, sourced from the village before.
Very
Down
good.
a scout, but up an alchemist.
And the Mercy wasn't damaged either. Who went along?
Yep.
A couple things on that. You did fight crows, which are the ones that wear the plague mask. They're silent. They dress all in black. But the infamous that was leading them has the white plague mask with the red handprint. And you killed the other crows, and you let him go so that you could get away. You burned the body of Black Standing Storm so that it couldn't be re-raised. And I think Joster took Black Standing Storm's bow
Yeah.
as a remembrance and or token to remember them by, as they couldn't take the body. I think that covers the majority of last session. And so we get back, and there is, yes, we saved Ether Magnus, the alchemist, and it's got some alchemist supply as well. And we'll get to those rewards next time, as is our vignette interlude of Halloween, right? So we are back at camp. The secondary mission, that squad that's gone out, did you ever decide who that was, Marshall? I think we might have.
Yes, we definitely did.
Oh,
I want to say it was this. Was it the Vipers?
The Grinning Ravens is what I
Yeah,
got.
Grinning
listed.
Ravens. I named them and everything. Yeah, I sent the Grinning Ravens.
And you probably picked your specialist that went with him, I think.
Yeah, I think it was the sniper.
Okay, yeah. Let me make a note here so I remember not to include. So Sniper Adorna and Grinning Ravens went. Okay, and so they're not yet back, right? They should be expected back anytime. Mainly because we don't know what's happened, if any of them died, so I don't want to have to retro activate like the story. But you've gotten you've come back. You've got you've gotten the alchemists. There's some good morale. There's some supply. We'll get to that later. But then there is also the reverse morale as Black Standing Storm has died. And so, in like tradition possibly, or maybe the commander can tell me how this works, but I was thinking there was like a moment of silence that's going to happen in the camp where they honor the fallen or some type of small ritual. Maybe you guys can tell me what it is you do when you have fallen soldiers, especially when you don't have the bodies that have come back. Maybe what you guys do for them. Okay.
The commander himself doesn't have any specific procedure, simply because this happens a lot right now.
Okay. That's fine. We can. It'll be a small like yay, this guy came back. Oh
Yeah,
no.
The friends and all them can do like drink around the tent and we talk about the good parts. But the commander himself doesn't have like a ceremony he wants to do for this.
Okay.
Because otherwise we do this every 5 minutes. He feels.
Okay. And that's fine. There could be like a small thing going on. Maybe the Panyar, since she was a Panyar, maybe the Panyar that are in the Legion are doing like a small thing, right? And everybody else is on the outside looking in, or they're having a drink telling stories, right? There's just that small period of time that work ceases. All right. And there's also another small light at the end of the tunnel here, because you do have laborers and some other common folk that travel with the Legion, those that take care of the horses, the cooks, the cobblers, the blacksmiths, everything like that, right? And they have sometimes their families with them because they have families. Well, there was just a baby girl that was born in the last few hours, brand new to the world. And even though there has been some death, there's also new life, as is the circle of life. So there is a little bit of a joyous occasion. She's been crying. Sometimes can't really have laughter usually too much as a newborn, but there's just been some crying and babies being babies, right? So there is that too. So there's a little bit cause of a little extra celebration, maybe depending on how you look at it. Some people are like, it's just not good to have families here. Some people are like, yeah, but it's a baby, new life, a chance. So as I carry on this next scene, I would like everybody, and the marshal can help with this, but I would like everybody to look through. We're not going to play command staff, but everybody look through all of the specialists that are there, which is everybody but the sniper, and all of the other squads except for the Grinning Ravens, and pick one character to play. Anybody you want, as long as the marshal's okay with that. But no more than 2 from any squad. Like, you can't have more than 2 people from the Starvivors, right? So pick a rookie, pick a soldier, pick a specialist. So everybody choose who you're going to play.
I'm taking the rookie.
Rookie who from where?
I'm taking Blue Biting Cone from the Star Vipers.
Oh, Blue Biting. I missed him. I'm gonna pop him out so I can see him here. Who else? Now you can help. Like, so
Yeah.
a lot of characters haven't played, so feel free to like guide user in the right direction. Maybe user wants to play a specialist, or
Yeah, you haven't played a specialist, and you're the only one who wasn't last time, so yeah.
If you want, I mean, no one has to be a specialist. I mean, it'd be whoever you want, but I mean, let's see, you got Yox. So you got 2 heavies. I think Beleg's been on the bench for a while.
Yeah, but he's got that level 2 harm.
He does. Yox.
Throat punch.
Throat punch. And that's right, that was from Yox, I think. Yox has 4 stress. Otherwise, he's healed. Oof. Man, And, oops. Adorna is out, but Joster is technically returned. Boy,
You
specialist.
want to play, I bet Beleg would be fine. Level 2 harm never hurt anybody.
Apart from those that actually hurt.
I'm gonna go with Mackett.
So, Beleg, I think, is like a pretty typical heavy. Values the life of all Legionnaires. He's stoic and steadfast. And he's also haunted.
You know what? I don't have to do a specialist, do I?
No.
No.
No, I'll just do my boy Nugget. Because that's what I did last time. I like consistency. Besides, like, he's got stress, he's got corruption, he's probably not much long left to this world. I'd rather he goes out on his own terms rather than sort of, I miss a session, somebody takes Nugget and gets him killed in a deep, dark cave, rather that doesn't happen to him. Of course,
Talk like that about Nugget. Nugget's gonna make it through, man.
Nugget's gonna make it, man, with his 2 stress, 2 corruption.
Mike, you said you wanted to play Mackett?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with switching off. I'm gonna actually go with Countessa Maria Morosani.
You could still be Mackett. Because
You
he was
could, huh?
Nugget. So you'd be brothers.
We could be besties.
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
Oh.
Where's she from?
She was from the Ghost Owls.
Oh, boy, they are hurting for people. So you played Contessa before, didn't you?
No, I don't think. I think they were on a side mission when they got hurt.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since she hasn't been played, I guess you're gonna need to stat her out, which is you get to pick. I know a special ability and I think 4 more pips, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Contessa, Maria Morsani, Nugget, DeHardy, Blue Biting Cone, and I see that the Emberwolves. They're the only ones I don't think that have gone on a mission.
Oh, I have special plans for the Ember Wolves.
Oh, okay. And that just leaves Soundwaves for a pick. Boy, there's a lot. There's a lot of playability going on here.
I'll go with Jacques.
With who?
Jacques.
Oh, Yax.
Jacques.
Jacques.
Yax Hawklightovich.
Today we say it like this.
Alrighty. Oh, man. Okay. Perfect. Alright, so these are your characters. Mike, you're building Contessa right now.
Yep.
Okay.
Those are out of human parts, though, not wood.
I never said anything about building out of human parts. Stop putting words in my mouth, man.
Inside your head. Your controller is moving to the left.
All
Your
right.
mouse clicks.
Let me get rid of some of these windows and set up the scene. All right, so.
It's uncanny.
All right, so we're back at camp, The only one playing a Panyar is Blue Biting Cone. Are you with... What is he doing with this news or currently?
I think the Panyar ceremony is to like, if the body is burnt, then offerings are burnt at like a different place. And it's like off on the side of camp, there's like a small fire, and every Panyar will like throw something in. And Blue Biting Cone had thrown in just like a small wooden contraption. Nobody really knows what it does, but it seemed to be significant to him. And he stands in reverence as I think the ceremony kind of concludes.
All right. And maybe your eyes are closed for a second, and said you can hear the baby crying at this moment, and night's been approaching. Right, it's dusk, so the fires are definitely lighting up the area. A fog is set in over. A fog has been setting in lately. The fog has been getting deeper. We're going spring into summer. There's been a lot of rain, but as it's been getting warmer, the fog should be a little bit less common. But there has been a fog. People have been talking about this fog. It's been a little darker, and it seems like it's something there's been a lot of different things for smoke. The shades have had smoke. The fog has seemed to be its own thing. There's been a lot of weird mists in the air, right? And it's been kind of clogging up the camp. So more fires have been burnt to try to keep it at bay. So there's that. Like I said, you hear the baby crying and you open your eyes, Blue Biting Cone, and 1 second. What is Yax Hawklavich doing currently?
Patrolling the camp, despite the fact it's not his actual job. Full plate, just
Sounds like Yax.
faceplate down, just
You hear-
quiet as you can be, considering you make the big ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk noise when you walk.
It's the heaviest noise you hear, and then you hear that baby cry, and everything else is like the noise of the camp that you were listening to, the crackling of the fire, people talking. You hear the baby cry, and all the other sounds are muted against that, but then they're just not there. And you kind of turn back to the camp to see, like, why is it so quiet? And Contessa, what are you doing right now?
Contessa is currently actually reading a book in her tent.
Just away from all the hubbub.
Mhm.
You can hear.
She's of the mind that, well, another person died. It's going to keep happening.
Mm-hmm. And you actually hear some of the Legionnaires that knew Black Standing Storm pretty well. It's like, I never thought she had the name Black because she did something wrong. She always seemed a good at heart to me. And then someone else is like, yeah, you know what? This one time, she... And the sentence doesn't finish. So curious, you have to... You're like, okay, that's weird. It's like, you don't hear any other sounds at all. No sounds.
Yeah, I feel like, someone not finishing their sentence, it's common amongst those uneducated.
Yes.
And,
Okay.
but the rest of the camp not having noise, as rambunctious as the crowd is here, does draw her attention, to which she, puts a bookmark in her book, sets it down on her, cot or whatever it is, and pokes her head outside the tent.
And you see Nucket. What is Nucket doing after returning, turning your weapons in, getting patched up, whatever?
I'm going to go and see the baby, right? Because small children, very nice. The great circle of life, renew. We have killed many men today. Maybe this one will be different.
Okay.
Yes.
You're looking for the baby, like, where was it? And then you hear the baby cry, and you turn in that direction. And
Yeah.
Contessa, you heard the person about to finish the sentence. That's when you heard the baby cry, and everything went quiet. So everybody opens their eyes or looks back at camp or peeks their head out, and it's suddenly you're in a lot of fog. You're in the camp, but the fog is everywhere. There's no one in camp. Not one person. except for maybe the four of you who will see each other. You can't really tell if it's day or night. There's no fire. There's no campfires. They're cold. They're gone for days. There's no sound. It's absolutely quiet.
This is odd.
You're muted, Mike.
You're telling me the more rambunctious of the group generally don't go to bed until, well, whenever the sun starts rising.
Gyok's begun stomping over. There's mischief afoot, lads. Pulls his shield off his back.
You guys,
Thank you, Captain Obvious. Or should I say, Corporal Obvious.
that's right. I forgot. Yax hates blue biting the cone. I forgot about that.
That's why I picked him.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that. It just came back to me when the voice started up. Okay, you go to pull a shield off your back, Yax. You have no shield. You guys have no equipment on you whatsoever. Now there is equipment lying around, and everybody can find up to medium load worth to arm yourselves with. Which, as Legionnaires,
You mean normal?
what's that?
You mean the normal load?
Or normal load? Yeah, whatever the middle. Did I say medium? I meant normal load.
Okay.
So everybody can arm
He
themselves.
will get himself back to normal load right quick.
I feel like as Legionnaires reacting to a strange situation, if you didn't have equipment and you could find some, you guys would probably arm up pretty quick. So do that now.
Is that just the normal load, or is that normal load plus utility?
Yeah, you can have your utility. I'm sorry. Yep.
Very nice.
Yep. So you would get, you got your fine
I'd
shield
get,
and your 2 load
I'd
plus.
get all my stuff.
But you get 4 load, don't you? Yeah, you get 4. utility.
My +2
Yeah.
with my 2 plus an additional 2
That's right.
for the 6 utility.
That's nuts. But it's a good time to take
It
it.
really is.
So let's see what we got going on here. How's Contessa built? Maneuver. Nice. Every inch of. All your traits. Looks like she's loaded up. Ready to go. Blue biting cone. Tents. Client reliquary supplies. And Yax probably has all the fine heavy weapon, of course. The shield and oil. All right. You guys managed to do that. Like, I'm not sure what you say, what you do. Maybe it does not, like, everybody just like, hey, get stuff. And then you guys are kind of back in the middle of camp, right? And the campfires, like I said, campfires have been like cold for days. Any food that's out is spoiled or just dried out. There's like no signs, like no one's been in this camp for maybe a week or two. And it's foggy. It's hard to see from one end to the camp to the other. You have like 40 or 50 feet visibility. And then as you guys are kind of coming back to the middle and seeing each other, you do hear a sound. It's just like squeak, 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 squeak. As you prepare to attack it, you find it's a gazebo. No, just kidding.
Zork.
Worse, it's a warehouse.
And you see a cart, a little hand cart being pushed ahead of an old woman that's all hunched over with warts and hunchback and just like pushing this cart that's stacked high with you can't see it right away. She's kind of coming your way, but just like something black or lumps of black in the cart. And she's just kind of pushing her way towards you. What do you guys do?
Knox will step forward, still at ready. Hail, woman! What is upon thine cot?
As she gets close enough, you can see what's in there. And it is a cart full of dead ravens, which is your banner symbol, if I need to remind you. And she's just like, my business is to be here. It is a sacrifice to save, but life to lie with death. I am called the Foul, but it isn't my true name. But you best ask me again before the screams become wails. And
What is your true name then?
she doesn't answer at this time and just continues to push by.
Seems nice.
And then you start to hear, not the squeak, 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 and she disappears into the fog. You hear scratching. Right? Scratching. Stuff moving around. You see the tent flaps around you begin to squirm and shake and wiggle. Things darting in and out around the edges of your vision, edges of the fog. What do you do?
Mr. Big Corporal Man, what are we doing? What's the plan, boss?
Stand firm, gentlemen. This is a trick of some type. Stalwartness, or stubbornness in some cases, should see us through. He looks at Blue Bunny Co. He says stubbornness.
Omen. Whether you wish to open your eyes to see it is up to you.
And that is when, bursting forth from the carts and the tents and all over, it's just swarms of rats upon rats. Big, black, red, beady-eyed rats just look diseased and nasty. And they're just like... And they kind of come together and they form this huge, huge swarm. Like, they're not high threat individually, but their scale is a 4 because they cover like almost a 30 by 30 foot like range, and they're just like, it's a black wave of disgusting putrescence coming right your way, coming at you. So like, you guys know how swarms roll. Anyways, you look delicious and they come your way. Yax and everybody else, what do you do?
Oh, so, boss, does we stand here and get eaten, or is we gonna crump them?
He laughs loud and starts to charge and says, "Spread out! Save those who can be saved!" And he starts, "Hail, and he goes, yeah, hail, foe!" Yeah, battering around like his giant sword in his head.
Or is it gonna crump them real good, boss?
All right. So who's making a move?
Let me look at what my options are.
Do I hear group action maneuver? Perhaps? No? Okay.
I can't
I mean, we
eat
can do
group
one.
actions. So we'll go down.
Yeah.
There's so many.
Follow me, ye apes. Do you want to live forever?
Yes.
Also, yes. I'm going to spend one of my points of anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Allows me to use a size of training to clash with more numerous or far superior foes. Each use of anchor allows you to fight as a small group. This means you can face opponent groups of lesser undead without loss of effect. There are also some undead that are simply have massive size, represented by scale. Basically, makes my scale go up.
So you guys are as a group are a threat too, and I think your scale is a 2. So you're making Yax is making his scale a 2 on his own, but if you fight as a group, I would give you scale 3. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Because individually you'd be scale 1, right? As a group you'd be scale 2, But if you guys are a group and Yax is using that, and you're like as a group action, especially if he's leading it. Well, even if he's not, I would say you're scale
I won't be
3.
leading a group. What he will be doing though is he's going to spend that and then use a skirmish setup maneuver.
Okay.
For everybody else. So basically, he's just going to rush in and try to split the swarm up so people with easier and smaller attacks. Because I mean, he's just got this large weapon. It's not going to do very well against individual rats, but he's assuming everyone else has like smaller weapons or something more suitable to this task.
All right. And a setup action will give them, I think, better effect.
So
I think better effect. We haven't actually used that one very much.
no. That was Bandit, but yeah.
Blade in the Dark. Each setup gives a +1 position level or +1 effect. So
I'm gonna say effect.
Okay, good. Because you already know that fighting with your individual weapons against a swarm is going to do very little effect, if not at all. Yep. You need more area attack.
Yeah, that's why. It's one of the reasons I took his fine heavy weapon. It gives him a little better chance.
Okay, so why don't you go ahead, and you are going to be starting. You would be starting at risky with no effect, but with your threat going up. I'm sorry, your scale going up. You'd probably be risky limited, and then with a fine weapon, I feel like that would make you risky standard.
Standard.
Which is quite. This is a setup though. It's not to damage them, right? It's to give everybody else a chance to do better when they attack. So I don't know if you other guys are thinking of
to succeed.
Yeah, but if you guys are thinking of doing a group action together, or someone else is going to take that bonus all on their own, you guys can talk and decide while he's rolling.
Yep. Here we go.
So, anyways, I kind of gave it away that it is an area effect is going to be the most damaging. It's a partial success. All right, consequence here is it's risky. It is going to be 2 corruption as the rats swarm you, biting, spreading their plague. It's going to cost 2 corruption, which you can resist with. I think you have to resist with. I forget what it is. I think it's what was it? Resolve.
I think it was resolve.
Resolve.
He's just going to have to soak it because if he does anything, he's going to fall out.
Okay. But that does
enough points for reliquary.
That does give you guys a setup, or better position or better effect. So you can be risky, starting at 0 effect with your weapons, or you can be you can be controlled with 0 effect, or you can stay in risky. And do like limited effect and go from there. So you guys tell me what you kind of are thinking, and I'll work out the details.
Oh god.
That was a 5, by the way, that sound waves rolled, in case people can't see the dice rolls. That was a partial success. So you guys going with group action, or are you going individual?
I was thinking about leading a group action to either skirmish or maneuver.
I will follow you if it's a maneuver. I probably wouldn't follow you in if it was a skirmish. So
Okay, I'll do maneuver then.
Well,
do maneuver them.
What's your maneuver to do in order to defeat these rats?
Well, our big, strong man has, just charged into the center of the group of them and kind of split the horde upon him.
Yep.
I'm kind of just leading a maneuver to, pull like a strand of rats, like a swarm of rats away from him, and deal with them while backing up.
Okay, so backing up, taking a few at a time, so you're not getting overrun, but you can still focus on killing some of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Blue biting cone, are you jumping in this group action? Muted.
Am I?
Not now.
Yeah, now you are. You're good now.
You're good.
Now you're not. Now you're muted.
Yeah, no, well, I wasn't muted initially, but no, I'm not taking part in this action.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so it's so you're going to use the bonus here, right? So since Yax has got him, so you want to take the risky and turn it to a limited effect so you can at least get a tick here?
Yeah, I was going to do that and then push it to desperate standard.
Ooh, desperate for standard. I like it. And then you guys are doing maneuver?
Yep.
Devil's bargains?
Just just really quickly, would you say that these guys outnumber us?
What's that?
Would you say that the rats outnumber us?
Oh yeah, I mean they're
swarms.
so scale is like the size.
Yeah,
Yeah, their scale is like the size. You guys as a group are like a scale 2, and they're like a scale 4. There's like I said, it's like a think of like I don't know how to do meters with feet, but just think of like 20, 25 meter diameter.
excellent.
Yeah, it's a huge wave of black just rolling over trying to devour you. So you guys are gonna be so you both get
Works for me.
you both get an experience point. Well, I guess no. Is it just Mike that gets it because he's doing the leading? Yeah, because you are the one that takes the. No,
From it.
I can't remember. You guys can both take a tick in prowess, Nugget
Right.
and Contessa. You're doing a desperate, desperate, standard.
Right.
Anybody pushing? Any devil's bargains? Going from there.
What's the devil's bargain?
That's a real good question. The one devil's bargain is you guys will be split apart as you fight the rats, so you will not be able to work together in a group action for at least the next turn. Nor will you be able to work with anybody. You'll be split apart. That's one.
So it'd be like just us two, and then the other two would be on their own.
Yep.
Okay.
But I mean, if we do really good,
yeah.
then it won't matter.
Yeah. So let's go for that.
It's
I'll bite.
it's a 4 tick.
Yeah.
So right now you got 2 ticks on the clock, but a devil's bargain gives you an extra devil's bargain gives you an extra dice to roll to try to get that. All right.
Yeah, no, I'm down for that.
All right. So
Yeah.
both roll. Don't forget to mark your XP, but roll desperate, standard
Standard
with a bonus on maneuver. Yep. I'll go back
Okay.
to the.
That's 2 bonus dice for me.
Take him and run, man. If you guys can get one of you can get 2 6s, then that's gonna be all you need.
That's the plan.
That's a 5.
Well,
That's
a
a 6.
No stress, and there's a success. It gives you the 2 ticks that you need for
Can I remove 1 stress?
out of 4 so far. Oh, you do? Oh, that's right.
I do.
Oh, that's
Over
good.
the top, when you charge into the teeth of an enemy that outnumbers or outguns you, clear 1 stress and take +1 dice to maneuver.
All right.
So I'm now less stressed.
Nice.
I will tell you right now, user, your eyeballs are cut off with your camera angle.
Ah, right. That would explain it. It's really weird. It's a laptop, so
Yep.
if I'm looking at the thing, then I can't, that.
The rat swarm is cut
Annoying.
down hard as you guys pull them away, and you get separated in the process, but you pull even more individually, and then you're able to crush them under your weapons as you do so. Blue biting cone, Yax, coming back your way. Maybe blue biting if he has an idea, but Yax has taken the brunt. Blue biting is unswarmed right now, and the other 2 are preoccupied. You've been split up across the main stretch of the camp.
So how we're close to center camp, aren't we?
Yeah, that's kind of where I was picturing us taking place here.
I imagine at center camp there's a big bonfire or something.
There is. The campfires are cold, but there is still there. It's like I said, it's been cold for days, but there's still wood on it and ash and everything else.
Yeah, I think if the rest of the squad were to come to Blue Biting Cone, he would be standing over the bonfire, the cold bonfire, just pondering, scratching his chin, staring at the ashy wood that lay before him.
Okay. Does he have a plan, or is he just standing?
He's pondering.
Okay.
He might have a plan.
Okay. Well, who's doing what right now? That's what I want to know.
Mechanically, I am not performing anything.
Okay. All right.
I'm dead weight.
So, Yax grabs one that's near his neck, throws it towards Blue Cone. He's like, if you're not too busy, perhaps you could cook these up for us for when we're done. And he just lays back into the swarm again, just almost like he's wading into the river, just like he's striking, throwing rats everywhere. And this time he'll do a skirmish that's actually meant to attack.
All right, so I would still say you're in a risky position, starting at 0 effect right now.
Make it desperate.
All right, desperate,
Right.
desperate limited.
Yep.
All right, are we looking at any devil's bargains? I don't think you can push yourself.
Can't push myself.
I mean, he doesn't have a trauma yet, but you don't really want to do that until you have to.
Exactly.
Any items to up it? Oh wait, you have a fine though. You have a fine weapon, right? To give you potency.
Mhm.
So you would actually be desperate standard, which is if you get success, that's all you need. Because I'm trying to put the clocks, but if you guys can see it, the rats are a 4 o'clock, and you have 2 ticks.
Yes.
This will give you the 2 ticks you need.
All right.
Devil's bargain would be, if it's not successful, you are. I don't want to do. Ooh boy, you probably would take another point of corruption. That's
All right.
yeah, that's a thing that will happen as a point
Okay.
to give you a bonus die.
That's fine.
All right.
All right. Standard and then a bonus die.
Oh, look at that. We haven't seen a crit in a while. The double 6s, double 3s. Oh, man.
Critical quit.
Critical and a mid crit. Those fake crits out of here with the double 5s.
What's it look like after he tosses that rat and goes to town?
I mean, he's just literally like the wushu movies where the person's doing the sword spin thing, like Conan, like where Conan was doing his weird sword spin in one of his old movies. He just starts doing that and he starts singing, and he's just he like singing some random song in an old language that means nothing to anybody else but him because he learned it in that language, and he's just swinging, and he's done. He starts.
That is so good. What?
I ran out of targets.
And the rest of the few scamper off and are gone, leaving you guys in silence once more. What is the fine weapon that Yax was using?
Giant sword.
Giant sword, okay.
Yeah, great sword.
Works for me.
Big fuck off sword.
That thing. You guys are quiet. It's only quiet for a moment. And then somewhere behind you, to the east, you hear these screams of horror erupt. Like many people screaming. You reminded what the hag said as she went by. And, which I can remind you again if I have to, but, and then as you're listening to that, somewhere off to the west, you hear the baby cry. A baby cry. But it sounds just like the baby that was just born today, a few hours ago actually. And you know that to the west, where this cry is coming from, there's an abandoned village. That's why you guys found a good place to make camp. There's an abandoned village that didn't have much there, so you're just like a little distance from it. And that's where the cry comes from. What do you guys do?
I'll
We
walk. Oops, sorry.
No, carry on.
I would. Cone would walk back to the rest of the party.
Rats and ravens make for bad messages.
Bad
Wailing
juju.
of the wailing of the infant. Doubly so. We must follow it, though it is certainly a trap.
Despite my desires, I agree with the man. If the child is real, or it may be the actual key to getting out of here one way or another. Perhaps this is some sort of trap for hope, or some other stupid lesson the gods want to have with us. He slides his greatsword back to his back, cracks his knuckles. But either way, I'd rather be there than standing in a pile of rats. And he flicks one. He crushes one from his gauntlet. He's like, get out of here.
One more's crawling up it. He's just like, yeah. Are you guys chasing west?
Well,
Oh, go ahead.
well, we should be careful, as that woman did say something of a sacrifice. This may be a choice of people or the child, one of the many.
Oh, we're gonna help the child, right?
Aye.
So
That's the
what are
only
we
knight here.
discussing this for?
I'll throw that in there just because that's what she had said. All right, you head west towards the crying as the screams behind you grow louder, and with them you hear just like a thump, thump, like the footsteps of something enormous, coming from behind you where the screams are. As you run west through the woods towards the abandoned village, you run by an old man who is sitting there digging what appears to be 4 fresh graves. They're not complete yet, but he's just digging them, throwing the dirt out, pays you absolutely no mind as you go by. And before you can say anything to him, there's just like a shift. And you're entering the abandoned village. This is one, like you said, you found when you first made camp, right? You come in, and it's like it was before. It's completely empty. But it hasn't been lived in for years by the look of it. It's all decrepit and worn down. More so than when you checked it out a few days ago. And here you stand, in the center of town. Buildings all around. Wooden houses. Kind of like the last village where you... A couple rooms each. A few stables. Maybe a tavern. An inn. And it doesn't take long before you just hear the sounds of scratching. But not the same type of scratching. Kind of like soft footsteps. Creaking of boards. And just kind of a... moans. Soft. But it's coming from different random spots in different houses.
Is there another sound of a baby, though?
No, only that one time.
Where's the closest house?
I mean, there's one right there.
Well, unless physically stopped, run up to the door and try and get it open to see if the child is in there.
Opens right up. House is dark and empty. The only thing that is different is the old woman pushing the cart into town, coming right towards the rest of you. Nugget, as you're looking around, there's no top floor. There's just the ground floor and a cellar. You're finding nothing, at least in the top floor. There's the cellar, of course. The old woman with the cart approaches, and you see that she has a cart full of dead ravens, but they don't have raven heads. They have the heads of humans, Legionnaires, people that you know in your Immortals group. Ravens with human heads and a whole cart.
Full-sized human heads or raven-sized human heads?
Raven-sized human heads.
Okay, I was going to say, it'd be a bit of a weird-looking raven.
They are very top-heavy.
Very top-heavy, exactly. No wonder they died. Do they look like they've been stitched on, or does it look like when the raven died, it had
It's a good question.
the original one?
Now, Nugget's not there, but no, it looks natural.
Okay.
She looks at Contessa and she's like, her voice sounds a little bit different, a little less old hag and a little bit like younger. She's like, it is a sacrifice to save, but life to lie with death. I am called the Plague Bringer, but it isn't my true name. But you best ask me again before the screams become wails. She continues to push her cart away.
I kind of look over at Yax and be like, yes, I believe someone is putting us through something for some reason at this point.
Woman!
Woman.
She doesn't respond to you if you're calling her.
What is your name?
She cackles a little bit, but doesn't answer that. And that is when the cellar of the house that you're in, Nugget, going downstairs, opens up, and you hear the footsteps of something coming up. You guys outside see the sheds next to houses, the stable, other cellars opening up, and things come out of them. Never out of the house, anything but the house. But the cellars of houses, yes. Nugget, a really gaunt-looking old man with no hair, real pale, very sickly green eyes. It's like, oh, human. He's just like, people? And everybody outside see these really gaunt-looking, withered people coming outside. They don't seem to be zombies. They seem to have an intelligence. But they all come out and they're just like, oh, people. Someone coughs and flies come out of their mouth. Another one coughs and just green bile drips down their chin. Others have sores that are bleeding, don't stop, pus-filled sacks that are bursting. And these sickly-looking humans are all kind of just shambling your direction. What do you do?
Bonk?
Huh?
No. Go on.
I use my guitar and I kabong.
I use, I cast, Fireball.
Oh, man. That's a good idea.
Lightning bolt.
I will step forward. Now, there's a house behind this cellar, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Though I am not a strong man, I know how to apply my proper leverage, if you will, over a Knox joint. And with the right angle and just the right touch, you can actually knock one of these small hovels down atop their cellars. At
Oh,
least that's what I'm trying to do.
knock a whole house down?
Yeah.
Ooh, onto the cellar. Okay.
Interesting.
I like this. I like where this is going.
This
Well, you
is
see,
clever. I like
these foundation stakes are only half set. With how rainy it's been this season, I wouldn't be surprised if I could slip one out.
Okay.
At least that's my inner monologue.
I feel like this is probably a wreck.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Seems like you're pulling the linchpin, so to speak, on this house and sending it around down. I think there's obviously some risk involved. But I think there's a standard effect to it if you do it right. Obviously, you can trade position for effect if you want to get crazy. But, yeah, they seem to want to come towards you and give you guys hugs and want your warmth and your life force. You know, they're friendly in a way.
Oh.
I mean, they're not aggressive. They're just shambling and sickly, you know? I mean,
They're kind of friendly in a wanting to eat your brains kind of way.
they don't give that off. They don't give off that air. They just see that you're healthy and alive, and they want that. They're sick and they're dying.
And I also see that there's a house above them. So what am I rolling?
I mean, right now, I think you're in risky standard with a wreck.
Beautiful. That's a crit.
Oh my gosh!
Finally, he does roll sixes.
Back to back, baby.
Oh, standard. I think that would put it up. Put it up a tick, right? So that would be like doing a great effect.
Yeah.
I don't know what else critical does in it. But it has an extra effect though.
Something goes really well.
Well, you see, the foundations of all these huts were actually interlocked, and by knocking one down, it knocks them all down.
Oh, that's it. I'm gonna give you.
I'm still inside a house.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna give you an extra tick. I'm gonna both give you an extra tick. So there's 4 out of 8. As it comes down and crashes, makes a huge noise. I don't think it's the one that the house. Is it the house that Nugget was in?
If you went to the closest house, Then I'd assume so.
I mean, I'm thinking probably that Blue Biting Cone wouldn't drop a house on his own Legionnaire. But I mean, you tell me, Blue Biting Cone.
You tell me, yeah.
But I think not only does it crush a whole bunch and bury them, but the force of it and the wind coming out knocks a whole bunch of them down, and actually gives you guys, instead of being in a risky position, puts you in a controlled position. Because they get stumbled, they get distracted. You have a moment to get your bearings, and you have control of the situation. There you go, extra tick and control. So, nice work, Blue Biting Cone. Obviously, you can wreck more houses. Now, they're going to be stepping away from their houses pretty soon, but like I said, you're in a controlled position right now, so they're not that far away if you want to try to do something like that again. Or you can try something else.
Well, if that's what we're going to do, then I'm going to knock the house that I'm in down then. I'm going to go outside and pull the foundations out and all.
And you probably, like, as this one is coming at you, you probably start hearing it crumble, and you saw Blue Biting Cone stepping away from a corner where he had pulled a stake or something out, and you're like, all right, I understand that. And the one that wants you is like, kind of like reaching for you, like, come here, come here a minute. You got some change? No. Got a cup?
Spare a quarter? Spare a nickel?
Got a cup of sugar, neighbor? Cup of sugar?
Neighborino?
But anyways, Nugget, if that's the thing, yeah, because as you're going out there, you guys hear that screaming sound from the east from where you came, right? It's the screaming of many people, just and there's the screams are growing. They're becoming groans and hollers. They're getting worse, and you hear the thump, thump, thump. That's something large following in that wake. So anyway, what do you do, Nugget, or anybody?
Am I able to bring the house down as well?
You can definitely do that. I'm thinking a wreck roll is probably what makes the most sense.
I have a fine wrecking kit.
Do you now?
I do indeed.
That's probably going to give you an increase in your effect, I feel like. Because I would start you out as you're in controlled, probably standard. So that would...
I'll buy that.
That probably puts you in controlled great, which is 3 ticks. You can trade position for effect to bump down to a risky and make it a super good effect if you want, which would finish off the clock, but that's up to you. Or you can stick with where you're at.
Okay, so you said controlled.
And you can start out with controlled, and then you would go to great with your fine wrecking kit if you're going to use it here. That will give you 3 ticks. That'll give you 3 ticks out of the 4 you need if you do it.
Controlled. We'll do the great. Don't suppose you have any bargains?
Oh, for an extra die? Yeah.
For an extra die?
That one that's been chasing you still makes it out, and it's upon you, right? It maybe doesn't damage you, but you're in a desperate position yourself after this. Unless you... Okay.
Unless what?
I was going to say, unless you kill them all off, but you wouldn't. You'd only get 3 ticks here, so there would still be at least a couple left over.
Yeah.
Let's see what...
I'll do that then.
Alrighty.
This is gonna go terribly wrong. Partial success, not too bad.
That's enough to, well, it's not enough, but it's you do it.
Still a win.
What's it look like with your wrecking kit? What do you do?
Well, whereas, the old guy grabbed a stone and levered it, pulled it out, I have taken a big, almost like fuck off hammer and just slammed it into it and almost turned the cornerstone to paste, which as a result has sort of made it instead of simply just sort of putting it one and just dropping the house, it's almost not so much throwing the house to knock it down, but sort of throwing the house to knock it down,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Be like that.
And it caves in, and several others are coming out of the cellar there in that place you're in. and it just collapses on them, burying them. There's only a couple left, and the one that is coming after you is like, no, I want it! And it leaps on you, and as it does, it starts, its pustule sacs are all over him, that these disease effects. As he touches you and makes contact, they burst, and you're getting a point of corruption. This is the consequence from the 5. You can resist this and not take corruption. Your corruption is where at 2. You did Rex. You can do a prowess resist and not take the corruption.
And Nugget has bonus dice to that because of the reliquary he always has.
Reliquary.
Or you can just spend a point of reliquary and not worry about it and not have to take a stress roll. I think, right?
I will spend my point of reliquary to just not spend a roll on that and just not be corrupted.
As that bursts and the stuff oozes all over you, that little piece, because reliquaries are basically little bits of previous chosen that have died, and they take their bodies and they take the little finger bones and little bits of skin or hair, and they put them in little bottles because they're still powerful even when they're dead, and those things absorb corruption and then they wither away, right? So you have like a fingernail of this previous chosen in this little bottle that just dissolves and turns to dust as the pus that pours on you is like neutralized like an acid, and it just runs off you like water. But this guy's on, he's like, help me. And that's when you guys hear the baby cry from somewhere to the west of the village. You have 1 or 2 of these plagued people here, and the screams getting louder and this thing getting closer to the east. What do you do?
No, but we just head off to the west. Deal with these as we leave, you know?
That is
Help!
Josh,
Yeah.
Josh will come to assist Nugget, but as he does, he's literally yelling, "That's the dinner bell, boys. We got to keep moving." And then he starts to, take care of the last one, hopefully.
Controlled. Standard. Probably controlled great because you way outnumber it.
Alright. So controlled great, fine weapon, blah blah blah. That's not much higher it can go. Partial success.
Not too bad.
This is where
I'm not dead yet.
some of his bloody pustule ooze gets on Yax for a point of corruption.
Okay.
If there's anything that Yax hates, it's corruption. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yep.
Are you
He did.
Are you soaking that?
He's having to soak it up. He don't have any other option. But yeah, he'll shoulder check actually. Have his sword out, but he'll realize it's too close, so he's got to slam into him, and that's where he gets a little bit under his collar there, where just enough armor isn't protected him, and it just
Nugget.
drop.
I mean,
There was one of the 20 Days Later types movies. One guy just got a tiny drop on him, and that was all it took for him to turn into a monster.
Got one blood drop into his eye. And that was that.
you hear like the crunching of like an aluminum can, it sounds like, as this huge dude barrels into this weak dude, and like he hits him in the shoulder, and like his collarbone snaps in like 5 places, and he goes tumbling to the ground, and just is like, but
Let's move.
Bosh.
you guys are running.
Onwards!
As you run west out of the village towards that, west of the village is like a little cliff face coming up. There's an incline. As you move, you see this old man who's been digging these fresh graves. But the graves are now fully dug, and there are headstones on each one. And he's currently carving the names of those who go there on them. I could ask you, or tell you what the names are on there, but you guys might be able to guess which names they are.
Is it our names?
Could be.
Could it be?
You dog, you. You're not supposed to guess.
Didn't.
Literally told us we could guess.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I did. Okay, fine. That's your one Halloween treat. There's my candy for you. Shh, shh. All right. So you hear the screams behind you, the baby cry, and the world seems to shift. And you've come up this cliff face, and you come up to the end, and it drops off several hundred feet to your left and to the straight ahead. It drops way off, and to your right there's this cave. But as you get up to the top of this cliff face, it's empty. It's abandoned. Very cold wind blows up and over. It's very cold. And you're just there a minute. You're like, well, you're probably thinking that cave makes sense. Jumping off probably be pretty deadly.
Well, this is where we die.
And then you say that, Nugget, and someone giggles like it was the funniest thing they've ever heard. Just sounds like the giggles of a small child laughing at a funny slapstick joke. It echoes, so you can't really tell where it comes from.
There must be a reason we were all sent here. It's just the four of us. None else. What ties us together?
This time several giggles, and the scratching of stone and the patter of small feet echoing off the stone, off the wind.
To remain is to die. We must keep moving.
Well, to leave is also probably to die. You know what? Let's not ask any further questions. It is what it is. We who are about to die salute you. Yes, nod.
The hag is currently pushing her cart down past you. And she's old and decrepit, right? But you can hear her voice is very vibrant. It is a sacrifice to save, but life to lie with death. I am called the corrupter of flesh, but it isn't my true name.
How much would it cost to buy one of your ravens? Sorry to interrupt you, corrupter of flesh, but how much to buy a raven?
She just kind of giggles, and as you look down, there's not ravens in this cart. There are a bunch of small, doll-size legionnaires. All of your legionnaires. The commander, the quartermaster, Yax,
Yax just
Mackett,
shakes his head.
and they're all dead and slain.
He just shakes his head, and he looks at the old lady, and then back to the group, and then out about. I've heard of many names for the end, that the names of death, eternity, and the future. But I don't like the giggling that goes with it around here. Everyone seems to giggle. What is so damn funny?
And as she's gone, you get your answer as the giggling isn't crazy. You hear this, first of all, the screams of the people, and they're growing louder. They're beginning, as she said, the screams are becoming wails, and it's coming up the mountain. It's moving faster. The screams are getting higher, but the giggling is different, because then you see, you look over, you're like, oh, the cave must be from the cave, and I don't know if anyone sees behind him, but there's just this tiny little hand that reaches up over the cliff face. And another tiny little hand. Yeah, this is Nugget, who loves children. He's just like... As a small child with a face with yellow eyes and sharp teeth looks at you and just like laughs. Like, I can't do a child's laughter very well. And more of them, as more children begin to climb up over the edge. Definitely not living. Definitely evil. As all children in horror movies are just the scariest thing. I don't know why. It just is. They're creepy. And you have a whole bunch of zombie children. And they look vibrant. Hungry. And they see all these adults that are always disciplining them. And they want to discipline back as they start crawling up like little spiders and climbing up. And it's just so wrong. If this is Call of Cthulhu, you'd be making so many sanity rolls right now. But it's not. So,
I would be rolling sanity rolls.
Yes.
Never seem to make them.
Losing lots of sanity. Anyways.
You little children are abhorrent to nature. Let the kiddies die. Let them die. And I'm going to charge them.
I love this nugget. You charge them?
I'm going to hip hip tally ho, waving a sort of like a big, almost oversized meat cleaver, his fine hand weapon, and he's just gonna gun it towards them. Damned be the consequences.
Okay.
Would you say they outnumber me?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
More than one of them?
Why, 1 or 2 dozen?
That's good. I am now without stress.
No. There's only 7 or 8 of them. There's actually their scale is equal to yours as a group, but individually, Nugget, yes, they outscale you and outthreat you. Are you you're a soldier, right?
I am a soldier. Yeah.
Yep. So this could be potentially owie for you. But yeah, go ahead. Tell me what are you doing? Skirmish? What are you doing here?
I'm doing a maneuver. I'm going to charge at them because these naughty sausage rolls are abhorrent to nature. You know, the dead may rise again, but they are adults. They have sinned. They have had their lives and they have made their mistakes. The children have not. It is abhorrent to force these children to relive after their death, even if they are twisted machinations of the dark arts. We must put them to rest, even if nobody follows me. I shall do it myself, by hell or high water.
Wow. That was perhaps the most passionate. That was the most passionate thing I think I've heard in a while.
It's
Damn.
about killing children, too.
Yeah.
Zombie children. They're not
Such
children
a
anymore.
Halloween moment.
Let's be clear. So you're going to maneuver?
Now I'm going to maneuver.
I think you're risky. Are you trying to maneuver to knock them off the cliff face?
You know what? Whatever ends their suffering, I shall do.
I feel like that you could trick them to duck and weave, or you maneuver, you bump into them because you're not skirmishing them, right? But maneuver works.
No.
So I would say you're in it's a risky. I'll give you standard. Risky standard.
Alright, risky standard.
But if they get a hold of you, their little nails are sharp, their teeth are sharp. They are hungry.
Also, fine hand weapon. You know, if that gives me anything.
Yes, you do. Okay. If you're using that in your maneuver, that's fine. So it would be risky.
Yep.
Great. At this point.
All right.
Okay. You want devil's bargains, or
you know what? I would love a devil's bargain.
Anybody have a good one? You're already separate from the group. I don't need these are not corruptors. They're just going to eat you. I don't want to say you get damage anyway. I would say that maybe
there's the possibility he falls off the cliff.
Well, it would.
do that.
You would fall off the cliff. You're not going to fall to your death, but you would fall and you'd be hanging there because you might have to a couple might jump on you as you fall backwards. You grab and hang on, but you're in a very desperate position, hanging from the cliff. That work? Does that work?
I'll do that. That's fine. That works for me.
That is a risky great with a bonus die.
With 2 bonus dice.
That's right, because you're maneuver, because you're charging.
I'm maneuvering. I'm charging them. I should have put my stuff into maneuver and been really good at it. But no, wasn't to be. Anyway, wish me luck. That's a 6.
Hey.
Whoops, almost muted there. All right, nice work.
As a about 3 minutes, I'm going to have to hop out to help my family get stuff in the house.
Okay. So Yax want to do something then?
Yes, he does. I'm going to do another setup.
There's a couple kids go off. Nugget is fighting, and you see him fall. You can notice that he doesn't fall. He grabs onto a small outcropping of a branch or something, or a rooted plant, and is hanging there. But a couple go off. A couple other children are looking at him like, yes! And a few others are coming at you.
He's going to barrel through whatever's in his way. He's going to make his way to see Nugget. Basically, he wants to be able to look down at Nugget.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going to take out a bottle of oil, and he's going to use that as a setup.
Okay.
He's just going to pour oil around everywhere but right below him because his idea is he's going to be looking down at Nugget so he could reach down to him if he needed to.
Mm-hmm.
But first, he's going to put oil on the cliff face, so it makes it more dangerous. So
For the like the kids might slip or something.
mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotcha. So you're gonna use your oil, and you're gonna do a setup action for who specifically for the other two guys? Like,
This one would be for
Nugget. For Nugget.
Yep.
Okay. So what are you doing? Skirmish or maneuver?
I'm gonna go with maneuver. Makes more sense.
Maneuver makes a lot of sense. So I would say obviously there's always risk involved, but that would definitely be your standard. So you would do it. You would get to him, and that would give him a position or effect on his next roll just by doing so.
So is this still risky or?
Yeah, I'd still say there's risk involved. Yep.
Risky standard?
Correct.
All right.
Because it is for the setup. That's alrighty.
Partial success.
You're gonna take
low partial.
You're gonna take level 2 harm as a couple of these things you barrel through one and crunch it underfoot, but a couple other ankle biters grab onto your ankles and start biting as you're charging, and they're gonna get level 2 harm, which is biting.
So when one of them starts to grab, he looks down as he's pouring oil to the other side of that group. Like in my mind, it's like he's looking this way. Nugget's here. He's pouring oil here, and over here's the one that gets up to him because obviously it's easy because there's no oil there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And they chomp down on one of his exposed parts of his leg because he obviously doesn't have his normal super heavy armor on. It's scavenged crap from the camp. And he just looks down and he just, sorry, child. And I spend a point of shield to just literally slam it down to that child so they can't keep biting him.
Okay.
Reduce that down from 2 to a 1.
So you spend your shield?
Yep. Bitten by...
And you still have fine armor, so you do have at least 1 point armor if you need it later.
I do.
Okay.
And I have the tough, so I ignore the penalties for the level 1.
Okay. Bitten by a child. Bitten by a zombie child. I just want to make sure that...
Okay.
No, you don't have to. I'm just stating it on it. Contessa.
Gummed by a zombie baby.
Contessa, blue biting.
Yep. So.
Thank you, Yax. Very good.
What do you think, blue biting?
So I'm probably sitting back here, continuing to ponder. Something along the lines of. Yeah, sorry, I'm scrolling up. Wow, we've rolled up a lot. Okay.
Sacrifice to save, but life to lie. That woman is truly death. And perhaps our chase is in naught. To live is to die, and to die is to live. We must turn and face that which chase.
She's just gonna look at him and look over at him and go, "Are you sure you didn't hit your head?"
I am sure of many things. That is not one of them.
All right.
Onwards, destiny.
He'll say as he raises his craftsman's hammer up and charges towards the prepubescent zomboids.
You doing a skirmish?
Yes.
I'll lead a skirmish then, unless you want to.
Okay, yeah, you can lead it.
Yeah, I have no stress, so figured that'll be
You can totally
Really
leave
that jazzed up by my my speech there.
She's more just like, yeah, sure, whatever. Let's save our guy who's about to fall off the cliff.
Okay.
So what's
so
our
loved.
position?
I'm so loved.
Risky. Skirmish sounds right. Risky standard.
Alright. I'm gonna throw us down to desperate. Great.
Ooh. All right, you guys each will mark that XP in that sweet prowess area. Don't forget.
Would you be cool with like the trade-off being like we're not even like attacking, we're just like rushing forward to try and just shove them off in mass.
That's fine. Is it still a skirmish you're doing, or are you doing a maneuver?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean,
I think it's still skirmish.
that's fine. I mean, you're still battling them, right? Picking them up,
Yeah,
throwing
we're
them.
assaulting their position, brawling and wrestling.
Yep. No, that's fine. I mean, that's what the cliff face is there for. It's there
So,
for.
Yeah.
Desperate
I
girl.
don't think it was, the cliff was designed to throw people over it, but
You don't know that.
it's useful to that.
Do I get a tick for aiding in that, or
I don't know if I did for the last one, so I'm gonna say go ahead. I'm not sure. I keep kind of forgetting. I think probably not. I think it may be the main person because they're taking the stress, but we're gonna go with it.
Hey.
Well, we both succeed, so no stress again.
No stress and a 6. Let me pop back there. People can see it, and that would be 3 ticks because you did great effect.
Great effect.
That was man. There's I would say it's 7 or 8. There's probably like closer to 10 children to make it make more sense. I mean, it's a 10-tick clock, so there's 4 of them left. As you guys knock 3 more off, they're just like hungry.
Hungry.
Hungry. Oh, mama,
Hungry.
as we're
mama.
charging, can I look over at Contessa and be like,
You know what the problem with youth is?
You young whippersnappers.
It's
where-
wasted on the young.
yes,
I was
shove them off?
waiting for you to say that, actually.
She just kind of sighs at that, like, sure, old man.
Fuck you, old man. I'll do whatever I want.
One nugget.
Yeah, she says that as she, like, drop kicks one of them off the ledge.
Oh gosh. Hit cartwheels. Hey! This is so bad. I haven't used like crazy undead children since our Blades in the Dark one episode a long time ago, Mike. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. I don't remember that one.
Oh, well, we did 49 sessions or something. It was a lot. It was a big campaign. Go back and watch it. Anyways, Nugget, you're hanging there, but you're in a desperate position. Is there anything you want to try to do?
Am I still being actively attacked by undead children?
They want to, yes. I mean, you're in a position like if you roll bad, they're going to attack you. You could try to pull yourself up and fight. You could try something else, or maneuver away.
You know what?
You
I'm going to maneuver away and get myself up and back in the fight. I'm gonna bop them. Do some real boppings.
all right? So you're going to basically try to get into a better position.
Yep.
So you do have a better positioning automatically, or an increased level of effect to do so because of his setup. So I would start you in a desperate limited because it's hard to move here. It's a pretty risky thing not to fall. And limited
All right.
because it'd take a minute to get yourself up in a better position. So you can either make it like risky limited or desperate standard with the effect. So it could be crazier, but you're going to get what you want, or not as crazy, but you're not going to get quite as far as you wanted to go. That's
Desperate but standard.
desperate but standard. Okay, so you will mark an XP under your prowess.
Yep. That's my full clock.
Nice full clock. Excellent. I think you can mark the pip, I believe. I'm not sure if you can do it right away. I think you have to do it when we do the XP, technically, later. So just make sure you make a note of it. What's that, Dan?
Okay.
Technically, yes, but we just usually make sure we mark it right
Yep.
away so we don't forget. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it takes 2 sessions to get there.
Yeah, like now.
Okay. I
And
have
so
marked it.
so desperate, risky. Or sorry, desperate standard. Devil's bargain. The only thing I think of is you're still separated from the group, and you got a couple on you. Or anybody else has anything, you can show it, throw it out there. Ooh, I don't think corruption works here. I don't really have many things.
I mean, I'll take still being separated from the group and not being able to do group actions. That
Okay.
works for me.
Alrighty. Desperate standard. Do it to it.
Desperate standard.
That is a 6.
Hey.
You're still separated, but you are back. And,
Back in the fight.
yep, you're back in risky. You're away from desperate. You're up. You're over. They claw at you, but you kind of get up and roll. The one that tried to get to you actually slips on the oil and almost falls off itself, and then grabs back on and starts climbing up, which allows you to get up, tuck and roll, get back on your feet. Even though you're not near the others, you are not like ready to fall off a cliff. Good move. There's only 4 of them left, and there's 4 of you.
That's enough.
I think scale is matched now, so they're not quite as deadly. Well, they were at the same scale already. Okay, so maybe their threat is down.
But, in that case, let's just finish this out, I guess. You know, finish out these guys.
Yeah.
And I think I'll lead a skirmish action if anyone wants to join in. Just
Yep.
kind of play lawnmower.
I'll join
can't.
one.
You have my hammer.
You would have had my cleaver, but separated.
Yeah.
Risky standard for the 3 of you going in the group action.
More like desperate great.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Ah.
Because I'm
Desperate.
taking all the
Do we
penalties.
even need that? It's only 3 ticks, right?
There's 4.
4 ticks.
Okay.
This will only get you 3 right now, though,
Unless we crit.
unless you crit.
Critical
Do you have a
quit.
devil's bargain, GM?
Boy, I'm running out of ideas here.
Everyone
This
does.
is like the most we've used them.
I know. I'm trying to think of the scenario and the situation. The thing that is chasing you up the incline that's screaming and is now starting to wail is going to be closer. Almost dangerously closer. So if you don't finish these things off in the next couple turns, it's gonna be there. And the old lady said, "Don't let that happen." Basically, is what she was saying with her little riddles.
Yeah. We're not going to take that one then.
Okay,
Uh,
it's fine, Mike. It's fine.
yeah, totally.
Just push.
Um,
Just push. Easy. Just push.
Yeah, I'll just push us, I'll push, so that way I'll put us up to desperate, extreme effect.
Oh wait, you already did trade position for effect though. If you push,
yeah.
you get a bonus die.
Yeah, then I'll go with that. I'll take the 2 stress push and do that.
All
Okay,
right.
for everybody else, it's still risky standard.
Yeah, you guys can all roll it desperate, great, and take it, get an XP. I'm feeling kind, even though I don't think that's right, but that's fine.
I'll take it.
Well, success.
Partial success. Oh man, Dom coming with these
That's what I'm
sixes
doing.
tonight.
I've rolled 4 6s and nothing else today.
Hey!
And the axe
no,
is 6
no
as
stress
well.
again.
I'm good
That's
at
how the two
I'm good
push
at hitting things.
There is one left, as the rest are down or off the face. That's when you hear the baby cry, and it's coming from within the cave, as you just knew it would. The wailing is getting louder. It's starting to, not only does it sound wrong, it doesn't sound human, like human wailing. All of the screams of different people have kind of coalesced into a single wailing cry that, like I said, doesn't sound human. It just sounds so wrong. It jars your soul because it's just one of those sounds that just gets in through your ears and just makes your brain hurt. And it's just it's jogging up the incline. You got one of these little zombie kids left, and the baby cries from in the cave. What do you do?
How do I Spartan kick it off the cliff? Just one boom, just off.
I'm gonna go ahead because it's all of you versus it. I'm gonna go ahead and give you controlled standard here.
And it's also likely to be standing in oil, which would probably make it hard to walk, right?
Could I trade for the better things? Like kick it further, mayhaps.
Well, I was gonna say controlled standard. Like all you have to do is get a success, and it works. So you don't really have to trade unless you want to.
But I want to.
Do you want to make it risky? Great.
I'll make it risky grey.
Okay, there is more. Okay, you know what? Whatever. This is your game. Risky,
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
man.
pick-
risky, great skirmish. I feel like this will have to be.
Sure.
All right, knock it. This is all you, I think. 5.
Eh?
I feel
But
like
it worked.
this would be a great time if these things were talking. It would just have a monologue going on, and then something gets from out of frame, just gets punted like a football, as it does.
It was at that moment he knew he fucked up.
I'm betting you're wondering how I got here.
It's one of those freezes and it goes back like, well, earlier that day it all started. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So there is a side effect. Oh my gosh. You're gonna take a level 2 harm, Nugget. As
What?
you
What's
did
that?
make it risky, and you kick it, and you break an ankle, practically.
In the oil.
Yeah,
It's the oil.
the oil throws you off a little bit now, depending on your armor. You have,
I have
a fine
fine armor.
and you also have a fine shield, don't you?
I do also have a fine shield.
You could use the shield and use the armor, or you could use one of those two and do a resistance roll. And it'd be the way you could end up with no harm at all. Or you could use one of those things to get it down to a level 1 harm. So broken ankle is level 2.
What does the level 1 harm actually do?
Gives you less effect. So if you're doing like risky standard, you'd be at risky limited. So
Right.
it's not exactly good. It makes you less effective.
Right, okay.
The 2 puts you at -1 dice on all your rolls. And
I like my dice. I like doing stupid things but somehow surviving. It's like my entire brand at the moment. I'll do the armor and then I'll see if I can get a resistance roll on it.
Armor or shield?
Actually,
armor.
we'll do armor and shield. We'll do armor and shield. Do armor and shield then.
You're going to do both. Okay, so this thing, like, it grabs onto you as you kick it, and it rips off some of your armor. Your shield flies off. You take no damage, but it goes out and away just like you wanted it to with such force. It's just brutal. And there you go. There you go, gentlemen. I will mark that clock because filling these clocks is oh so much fun.
They really are.
You hear the baby crying still from the cave. As you run towards it, I'm assuming so. I'm just going to push this ahead a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You see the old man. He's finishing the graves. They're empty. But they're all marked and your names are on it. And he turns to you and he's just like, they're ready for you. My best old man cackle. As you just run by. Someone else punts him off the cliff, whatever. You know, because it's funny now. Because we make comedy out of this for some reason. Oh, man. Horror movies sometimes become comedy. That's what happens. And you go to the cave, you shift. You're in a cave. It's dark. It's cold. It smells like death. The baby cries. It's that little girl that was just born. As you can see the end of the cave, and it's almost like there's just a light in here that just kind of lights down on her. And she's in a bassinet. Just kind of slowly rocking back and forth. And there's something in the darkness beyond her. Something moving towards her from the other side. Like, here's you, here's her, and it's out here and it's coming towards her. And as you guys are standing there seeing that, this thing is like, it's running fast, and it begins to wail. I can't do a wail. It's like high pitch. It's like when Jim Carrey does that in Dumb and Dumber. He's like, you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world? And he's like, it's like that, but worse. And it's a high pitched wail. As you guys are looking at this child who's about to be devoured and crushed by this thing. You look down to your left, and there's your 4 graves, freshly dug and ready for you. What do you do?
Charge.
Okay.
Get away from her, ye foul wretch of the grave. I challenge ye to a duel. Have at thee, you knave. Then stop running off. Meek Cleaver gonna bop him real hard, bop him real good, sir.
Well,
Unless somebody wants to follow me, we can do, a group action.
Let me-
I could do that, but I can't start one.
let me come back to the old woman's riddle here. I think kind of maybe fluctuates in someone's line. I think in Blue Biting Cone's mind.
Yes.
I
like Cone looks at his younger comrade who's charging into the thick of battle. I look at these 4 graves. Kind of look at Yox.
I say, those are up my time anyways.
I'll shrug and I'll just start walking towards the grave labeled for me.
Okay. Nugget, you might look back as you're like, who's going with me? And Blue Biting Cone stepping down into his grave. The other 2? You tell me.
Oh, I get the middle now. I understand it.
Yeah, no, I was on that kind of train of thought when I remember Lie with Death. She'll just be like, I swear to God, if this doesn't work, I will haunt you.
If this doesn't work, I'm going to put a move on the old hag. Combined with death and many things.
Yeah, that's something he would do.
Yox, when we get back to camp, can you please punch him for me? For that image?
Yox will draw. Well, I guess we're gonna do a little bit of accidental PvP here. As Jox reaches out to grab Nugget and throw him towards the grave. Yeah.
Could I put a quick back on that? Could you explain to him the riddle and sort of that you've worked it out, and then do it, and then I won't resist? Because
Yox doesn't know. He just
Okay,
knows
you
that
know-
this jerk that he hates, this guy that he hates so much, figured out how to accidentally release him from a weird magical trap. So if the old man is willing to hobble into this grave, it might be important. He's really
That's
don't
fair.
want to do this, but he's just literally like, we're going with this. We're going with Plan B, lad. He's gonna try to grab you and toss you.
that's fair.
So I guess you can decide if Nugget.
Trust me.
I guess you can decide if Nugget resists, and you guys could just do a fortune roll off to see who rolls higher. But
Yeah.
unless Nugget's like, I mean, it's up to you. You're like,
Yeah, I mean, as a character, it's very much a bad idea to charge this thing. It's gonna hit me with like level 10 harm. I'm gonna die. It's gonna be great. I'm just gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit it, punch it. It's gonna just stare at me, and then I'm gonna explode.
Be like that scene out of Castlevania. You must be the Belmont.
You must be the Belmont.
so Contessa and Blue Biting are jumping in the graves. Yax is grabbing at Nugget. Nugget, do you get grabbed, or do you try to resist?
Heads or tails?
Let's go with heads.
Okay, all right. So you want me in the grave, right?
Oh, he's not technically saying where he wants you, but he's just going, we're going with Plan B, lad, and tossing you towards it if he gets a hold of you.
I can't tell what that is.
It's a Space Marine head. So
Oh,
I've got-
heads.
going in the grave.
Alright. So they dive into the grave. Once he makes sure Nugget's in, then he looks back, shakes his head, dives into. Captain Kirk space roll,
Oh man,
My shirt may come off. I gotta look really cool when I do
totally
this.
forgot about that. You know what? That can be done later, actually.
You sure can. It's almost 10. You can do that anytime.
I can do anything. We might have to eke over into the next session a little bit, but this is the main thing. You guys jump into your graves, and of course that's the wrong decision. You die. No, just kidding. As you jump into your graves, you go like this, but the camera's rotating with you, so like it follows you as you go, and it's like you're really standing up. And you guys are at the spot where you were at the moment the baby cried back at camp. Blue Biting is opening his eyes in the middle of the ponyard. Yax is looking back towards camp. Nugget is almost to where the baby was. And Contessa is looking out of the tent flap. And there are a few other Legionnaires that are still frozen in their spot standing. There's a thick, choking, smoky fog all about. But bam! The camp is alive with battle. There is just sword fights and guns going off. Undead are everywhere. It's a mass of craziness. This fog has come in. It did something. You only have time to register. And while people are distracted, boom, there's people that are dead. You're not sure if they're Legionnaires or commoners. There's undead. But this is definitely Blighter's troops. Blighter, who, as you guys snap to it, Blighter has been called many things. Her full title is called the Flesh Blighter. But if people call her the Foul, the Corrupter of Flesh. They call her the Plague Bringer. These things all come to your head now. And there are crows and rotters here. There's a couple of horrors, which you haven't really seen yet. But they are stitched together monstrosities of bodies. I'll try to show you a picture right here. Let's see if I can get it right. It's kind of... There's a big creature that's made of all kinds of humans stitched together. There's a few of those. There's some spitters. And then there's a horror, as I just said, that looks worse than the rest. Most horrors have one head. This one has 9 embedded about its body, all crying and screaming in horrific dissonance. It has a dozen several spikes sticking out of its back. And the crying is wailing. As you remember, there's an infamous called the Wailer. And it's in camp. And it's tough. And you guys all snap to. And the battle has been joined. The squads are fighting. The bandits that the quartermaster is having trained to become Legionnaires are fighting together. They're trying to just keep themselves alive and probably go, what the hell did we sign up for? And that's when the battle is joined. Now, if we had gotten here earlier, I would carry the battle on a little bit. All right? But we're going to come to a close here. And this is where we're going to start next time. When this battle is concluded, we'll go back to the campaign phase as normal. All right? But I'm going to leave you with one shiny little tidbit, one more little cliffhanger that I was going to wait a couple rounds to bring in, but I don't want to because it's too good. So Wailer comes wailing his way into camp, and you're like, oh, we got to fight that. But behind Wailer, surrounded by several crows and several squads of rotters, is a woman. Unmistakably a woman, a tall woman. And she looks powerful. And she looks almost 7 feet tall. She just has black lines running down her face away from her eyes. She's got a bandolier full of tonics and potions. She has like this sickle at her side. And she looks like she's in charge. And you're like, well, maybe it's one of the lieutenants. You know, there's a lieutenant that works for her that's a human. That's name is Victoria Carhowell. She's a scientist. But the hairs are standing up on the back of your neck. And you're like, we don't think that that's a lieutenant. We think it's actually her. You're muted, Dom.
I don't think I am.
Now you're
Hey,
not.
I just don't think he's saying anything.
What did you say?
I said it's broken
It's...
in the flesh, or lack thereof.
You are correct. It is the Broken. It is Blighter herself. And that's where we're going to end the session.
Well, this was a good campaign, guys. You know, camp's gone, unit's gone. Don't think we made it. Got our points value up high enough to pass this check.
Group rolls, group actions, man.
We'll just have to group action her. We'll just take out the broken. Don't worry.
Well, group, just yell out, everyone, group action on me.
Oh yeah. The whole
I don't
camp
care
group.
what we do as long as we do it together.
Yeah. Just get the whole camp into a
500
giant group
stress
action.
points all at once.
Just
Yeah, it just explodes from the stress of leading this action.
and obviously the stress of leading this action, the explosion will take her out. We'll focus it into a blast.
Sure, sir. Now we marked all of our desperate actions. I feel like, would it be better to wait to do XP when all of this battle's done?
Yeah.
Well, basically.
Give XP now. That way we can be better and not die immediately.
Oh,
have.
I'm afraid that's not happening in the middle of battle. D&D rules, you got to rest to level up. So anyway,
we had that little rest when we came out of the dream state.
oh
I
sure,
think that's enough to sort of look back, maybe.
super restful, I'm sure.
Mm.
So anyways, thank you for joining us for our little Halloween spooktacular. I know I broke the rules a little bit, but death is real, but so is the XP. There's going to be some delicious XP awarded here come this next session, should you guys survive it. And if we need to, don't worry, if your character dies, you can just pick a new Legionnaire. There's a whole bunch. They're all here except for the one squad. Anyways, we'll get to that next time, and then we'll kind of get back on track with our regular campaign post-Halloween, pre-Thanksgiving. So, my name is Lucas. Thank you for joining tonight. I had a lot of fun. Please be a dear and subscribe, follow, spend cheer points, and support the channel so that going into the holiday season, we can all buy each other Christmas presents. Yes, that's right. I said it. Dan wants a present so bad. So, hey, McCrumpets is now following. Thank you very much, McCrumpets, for following. I appreciate the follow. I'll take them. Come back every single time. Anyways, so that's it for me. My name is Lucas. I'm going to pass it down to User to start our shoutros to get out of here, and then we'll close up shop. Go ahead and take it away.
Don't know why you're sending it to me. I don't have anything to do the shoutro for. It's been a great time, but, pass it on to the next person, Dom.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Dom. I run another show here on Lucas G Variety called The Song of the Bone Kings. If you ever find yourself with free time on a Sunday afternoon, we play at 2 p.m. Central Daylight Time. I think that's changing, but it'll still remain 2 p.m. Central Standard Time when we hit. Is Daylight Savings this Sunday? I think it is.
Yeah.
I thought it was like the last Sunday of October. I don't know. And it's also Halloween, so I don't know. I'm not a solar calendar guy because that's on the equinox.
Sunday, November the 7th.
Okay. I thought it was
7th.
November.
Okay, so we have a whole nother week. Okay, cool. Well, come check out my show. We run a new system called Chasing Adventure. It just got uploaded to Roll20. It just went 1.0 into the full release, and it's a lot of fun. If you like Dungeon World, kind of Blades in the Dark, it matches together those two. I'd call it probably the closest thing we'll ever get to Dungeon World 2.0. So if you want to see how that runs, come and check us out. We try to run a show that's very, very fast paced. And this Sunday, we will be doing a Halloween one shot. It has nothing to do with the actual, as spooky as the Bone King sounds. It has nothing to do with our actual storyline. It'll be just off in its own little thing, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So 2 p.m. on Sunday, be there or be square. And speaking of, I don't know what I was trying to say there. Sound waves. Let's go over to you.
I appreciate that. Yes, as usual, had a great time. Thanks for playing. Lucas, thanks for letting me play. Everyone else, thanks for letting me be part of this. Currently, my alternate Tuesday game is on hiatus. We had some issue. I had a lot of issues trying to get the Atomic Respiration game off the ground, so I put that on the back burner, and I started working on something that has a little more support for it, and that will be hopefully later near the holidays. I'll finally get a cast started working on that. But until then, Tuesdays are kind of whatever Lucas wants to do on his own channel. But other than that, as usual, again, thanks for letting me play. Thanks for those who subscribed and joined the channel. Catch us in the Discord if you want. One of us is always poking around. And passing on to Haruka.
Hello, I'm one of the other GMs on this server. I GM the Robotech games on every other Tuesday, so not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday afterwards, I believe. We are getting back to it and gonna be hopefully wrapping up that story, and from there we'll see if we want to continue into a new campaign right away or something. But besides that, like usual, shout out to everyone here for letting me play in, and Lucas also for GMing, and I'm also going to spend my shout out to promote the new Robotech book because buy it. I come on SMG, just pay me SMG. I'll shout out your name everywhere. But the Kickstarter for that's almost rounded up, so anyone who wants to get some last minute stuff, make sure you do that for the SMG's new Homefront Robotech book. But besides that, that's all I gotta say.
Thank
And
you
I
very
will
much.
not pass back to Lucas.
Oh. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate it. I'm taking it back anyway. The alternate Tuesday may be Call of Cthulhu, because I'm feeling a little very Call of Cthulhu-y right now, because I'm involved in that. And that might go into the every Tuesday for a bit until we get the new Robotech and the other Tuesday game going on. I don't know exactly, but if you're interested ever in playing in a game, or even GMing a game, whether with me or not on your own, like Dom, because I'm not in Dom's game, but he just does it through the station. If you want a platform that's already set up and you want to GM a game with your own group, you can talk to me through the Discord. Join us. Want to play in a game possibly? That's always a thing. I'm always looking for new people, new talent. Or if you just want to be like, hey, play this specific game. I want to watch this game. I want to watch you play, Scum and Villainy, which is the same rules, but space. Okay, yeah, I'd like to give that a try. Go ahead and...
We can do some one-shots.
Yeah, we can do all kinds of stuff. So I'm willing to work with anybody. Just want to grow the community and get more people in. So we're willing to do all these things. So anyways, that's all I got to say. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for my players for being here and putting up with this craziness that I'm always bringing forth or trying to. Thank you for the audience out there for watching now or in the future. So we are going to jump out of here. We'll be back on Sunday for the Song of Bone Kings, or the Halloween edition. Which is right on Halloween. Perfect timing, Dom. It's like you knew all along. And then we'll see you back next week, Thursday, for, Dungeons and Dragons, the Yawning Portal campaign. So until then.
Do you mind?
I'm
we
sorry.
actually have a spot open in that one shot too.
Oh.
So if anybody watching or any of you guys want to play, we have a spot open. Let me know.
There we go. I just put the Discord link there for the live Twitch chat, so jump in, find us now, and go, yes, I am interested. Chasing Adventure is a great little system, and I really like it. I want to play it in real life, other than just play by post. So, yes, thank you, Don, for throwing that in there. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good night. God bless, and good gaming. We will see you later. Peace out.